We are back in the woods, ladies and gents, to shoot some more, hopefully good macro stuff. We're shooting on the 105mm on the Z8, and I've stuffed myself silly on a sausage bap and a hot chocolate this morning, so there is nothing else to do now except crack on and get to work. So let's go. Right, the first shot, ladies and gents, is this little chap here. He's a bit kind of skew with, his stem is at a bit of an angle, but yeah, it's just a really tiny little pretty thing. So I'm going to set that up and just see what we can get. Okay, we are set up on this shot, ladies and gents. We've got this beautiful little mushroom with a stalk or stem coming in at this nice angle, forming a nice diagonal. Got the cap here, which is not quite horizontal because the ground is very soft and the camera's moved slightly, so I might straighten that up in post-production. I'll see how it looks. So you can see we've got two LED lights, one on the left of the subject here, one on the right of the subject here. The one on the left is set to 5600K daylight. The one on the right is set to 4000K, which is just a bit warmer, just to give a bit of extra warmth down this side. So if I switch both of those lights off, then you can see how dark the actual subject is. There's very little effect from the daylight, just a little tiny bit. So if I turn the left-hand light on, then you can see the light that it's providing for this side. It's sort of giving a nice little catch light here along the edge. And then if I turn the right-hand light on as well, then you can see how it lights under this side and it gives a nice little catch light here as well. You can probably see from one of the other cameras that the little tripod here is at a peculiar angle, and that's because the light fell over as I was setting up, and I actually preferred the light with the light fell over. So happy accidents. Right, exposure wise, ISO 64, best quality on this camera. We're going for f5.6 this time, just to try and keep the background slightly more out of focus, reduce the depth of field slightly. 40th of a second, absolutely no problem at all, because we've got no subject movement to speak of. There's no breeze or anything today. So we are going to focus on this front edge, more or less. I'm just going to check that with the autofocus. We're going to shoot a stack, so I'm going to bring the focus towards me, just to make sure everything is out of focus and I don't miss sharpness on this little front edge in the stack. We're going to shoot 100 shots, expecting to need probably about 15 or 20 because the subjects are very small, and I'm going to shoot that now. So looking at the final shot in the stack, we are past the subject, so it should stack nicely. Not sure what to do about this little chap here. I might remove that in post, we'll see how it looks. But if that stack's okay, here it is now. Right, that shot is done, ladies and gents. So without further ado, we are going to crack on and find something else to shoot. Right, the next shot, ladies and gents, is this beautiful red specimen here. In a rare moment of attempting to sound like I am an expert fungusologist or mycologist or whatever they're called, I'm going to stick my neck out and say that this could be a scarlet elf cup. But anyway, before I make a complete fool of myself, I'm going to set that up and see what we can get. Right, we're set up on this beautiful specimen, ladies and gents. This lovely, I think it's a Scarlet Elf Cup. This beautiful orangey red colour, just really contrasting nicely with this green of the moss of the little log that it sat on. So you can see we've got an LED on the left hand side of the subject here, and if I just turn that off, you can see that we've gone quite a bit darker down here, and you can see less of the texture. So if I just flick that back on, you can see how that provides a bit more texture, and it adds a bit of light here to show a bit of the sort of translucence back here. You can see I've got a bit of log just here, a bit of wood. If I move that, you can see what that's actually doing is providing a bit of shade here so that this isn't too dark. We could darken that down in post-production, but if we can get it right now, so much the better. So we've got a nice sort of dark, out of focus background. I think that just really contrasts nicely with the brightness and the colour here. We are going to focus stack it. We're going to shoot at f8, 1/8 of a second. We've got no subject movement, so that's fine. ISO 64. According to the meter here, we are underexposed by a stop, but that is affected by this background, so I'm not concerned about that. I think we've got the right exposure. I focused here initially. I'm just going to check that with the autofocus. So we're focused there. I also want to make sure these little bits are sharp, so what I'm going to do is draw the focus towards me, just to make sure that those bits are going to be completely sharp in the stack. Because this is quite a large subject, I'm going to shoot loads more images than I need. So I'm going to shoot 200 frames. I think I probably need 30, 40 maybe, because it's quite a deep subject, but we're going to shoot loads, and I'm going to shoot it now. So, as expected, we are past the main subject, but not by quite as much as I thought we might be. But we're well past all this stuff, so that should stack okay. And if it does stack okay, here it is now. Right, that shot is done, ladies and gents. I am out of rations and it's just started to rain, so I'm going to call it a day, and I will see you next time. Cheers.